All right, so what should we call our fans? Are they called tomato heads or are they called roddy bodies?
I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this hard and long. Tomatites, I think is.
I thought Gazpacho Nation.
Tomatites.
I heard Mitch called tomatards.
That's tomatards.
Said you guys are tomarted.
What's up, tomartards?
Okay.
Tomartorinos.
What the Tuckers?
What the tomatoes?
How about just salsa? No, that's.
You want to call our fans?
What about saucy boys? What about saucy boys?
What if we call salsa?
You can't just call your fan base salsa,
Salsa.
collectively.
Oh, I kind of like it now.
That's funny.
Chopping it up with the tomato boys. Hey, shout out to the salsa.
Okay, maybe we can.
Shout out to the Heinz tomato sauce.
I do want to give a big thank and shout out to the salsa who's listening to this.
Thanks for listening, salsa. What we were talking about? Oh no.
Do you want some water?
I'm good. I got to cut
It's too
down on milk,
spicy.
guys. Jeez. You don't want me loud. It's going to be gurgling. You can get. Oh,
Yep, that's good. We're good.
Are you a dairy man that can't intake dairy?
I think it's over for me. You know what? And then I say that.
It's over.
Are you going to give up on dairy?
I give it
I
up.
just can't do this anymore. Just so gooey
Gooey on the
on the
inside.
inside. Just.
Yeah, you should give up. Yeah, that's better, Morgan.
Just
What year is it, everybody?
1868.
1897.
1890.
The story begins 15 years before the story begins. By the way, this is my recollection of the opening writing on the screen.
I'm sorry, where are we? What are we doing here?
Well, that's just what it says. It's 1897, and it's 15 years before the story begins. And
Are
then
you talking about the film or the
Yeah.
tomato Return to the Blue Lagoon?
I am absolutely talking about the very same tomato that we're
That
talking
makes a lot of
about
sense.
right now on our podcast.
That holds
TRT.
true.
Yeah.
I thought that went without saying. People would be tuning in and they'd be, reading the thing that says this is a podcast.
You
about
don't
this
ever
episode.
just click shuffle
I
all
do a blind
podcasts
click, yeah.
existing and just hit a random episode.
Yeah, I do that.
Man, I wish there was a shuffle function on my podcast player.
If it was every podcast and every episode of every podcast, you
Ever?
could just shuffle. That would be kind of interesting.
For a little while.
Yeah.
There's some shit that I used to listen to that would end up in there that I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like the far right leaning podcast that I really liked last year.
Which one's that?
Just
Last
joking,
year.
just joking.
You got really into it in
Yeah.
Trump's second year in office.
It was a good year for Trump.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, briefly, much like this movie was. At no point was this movie interesting. This was the first one. This is the first one I watched that I was not impressed at any point by anything apart from like shots of turtles. That was the only thing that was redeeming.
I was
for me.
also quite impressed by the
Yeah.
turtle shots.
So this is a sequel to a fairly famous tomato called the Blue Lagoon.
Yep.
Yes.
Made
yes.
in 1980, based off a novel written by some person.
And who's seen that, the original?
I skimmed it.
I've
Really?
not seen it.
What I did is I opened it in VLC and I clicked through it.
Wait,
So-
in preparation for this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like directly after.
Oh, cool.
I just kind of was like, I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
You know what happened. This one starts
I just
very
wanna-
soon after
I
the
wanna
end
say-
of the
You
last
don't
one.
know exactly what
There
happened.
are a few
Yeah.
things that are mirrored in the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
and the big difference is that the person who raises the two children in the first movie is a big fat man.
Ah.
And he dies because he's a big fat old man.
Okay.
He doesn't get cholera.
All right, let's just give a quick background because I have listened to some of the feedback from our listeners and we have the tendency to ramble without distinction.
Oh, 100%.
And I want to say quickly, if you're one of those people who's told me that, I've told you this, we're not going to put any effort into structuring this show.
Yeah, fuck
Watching the horrible tomatoes is enough of a stressful time sink
This is
that we're never going to put effort into the actual structure.
It's
of the
not
show.
our fault though.
Yeah.
Like the movie starts with writing on the screen that says the year is 1897. We start the story 15 years before that.
Can I try and sum the entire movie up in 3 sentences?
Please.
Yes.
All right, first sentence. It's the olden days on a ship, and the ship has some kids on it, and the kids have to get off the ship because there's cholera on it.
Can I take the second
That's
sentence?
sentence
Can I-
number one.
Can I have the second
Yeah,
sentence?
sure, go
Let's
for it.
pass it around.
Let's.
Wait.
Everyone gets one sentence.
Everyone
It's
gets
like
one
a mad
sentence.
So far,
Okay.
so far there are kids on a ship, and they got pushed off the ship onto a little boat because everyone had cholera and they wanted to
I
save the
don't-
kids.
Okay.
You're
Does it-
missing an
okay,
important
okay,
part.
all right.
You're
Clarify
missing-
that there's.
There's a sentence before
But the
this.
kids aren't related.
Can
Yeah,
I?
yeah. Why not?
Right. Can I go before that, and then you can have Morgan? You can
Okay,
have
let's do
following?
the prequel to
Okay.
Hayden's sentence.
So
Watch out for this thing.
before what Hayden said happens, there is a canoe with 2 dead humans on it and a live child,
Right.
and that canoe is just in the middle of the ocean. And for those who know about
So
the,
many sentences
the
coming
Blue
out
Lagoon,
of this guy's mouth.
No,
There's
that's
a lot
the
of
one.
commas,
That's the one.
a lot of semicolons.
There's those
Qualifiers.
Now in brackets, I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
For those who know about the Blue Lagoon, starring Brooke Shields, I believe she was really young in it. She's on an island. She must be the mother of this child that's on the boat, and she's just dead. They just said that there's 2 dead human adults, and
Yeah.
they're like under a sheet. You never see them.
I hope so.
And then,
Now I have
and then
the
there's a
answer
baby
for
on
this,
it.
but
Yeah,
it's
right.
not my sentence. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because neither of those bodies were fat.
Yeah,
You see?
I didn't think
Yeah.
so. Maybe they get skinny and
Malnourished,
dead.
yeah.
So can I
Maybe,
just point out that with 2 of the 4 sentences, you've summed up the first 3 minutes of the
Exactly.
movie.
Yes. So you're going to get the big
So-
sentence that
That
covers
was the big
the
one.
next 90 minutes.
Also on that ship is
Oh,
a
he's
woman
He's staying on the ship.
is a woman who fosters that child who comes to the ship, and when they get on the raft to get off that cholera-ridden ship,
She's a widow with her own child as well. That's important.
yeah, so she has her own child, and now she has a new adopted child, and they go to an island. They
Well, they wash up. Sorry.
They wash up
Not my
on an
sentence.
island. And the mother teaches them how to live and survive, and then dies of cholera.
But what else does she teach them?
She teaches them that they are going to become adults.
Yeah.
Mitch, take it away.
Yeah. She teaches them that they aren't related by blood, so they can fuck all day long. It's going to be the majority of the way to pass the time.
I do remember her explicitly saying that.
Yeah. She's like, you know how those iguanas smash? They're like, yeah.
A lot of yes.
They get around that idea pretty well, and for the majority of their lives, that's pretty much
All right.
what they do.
So we've set it up, and it was a little more than 4 sentences. An important part I do want to say is when the rich lady and her baby and her new baby go on a dinghy, they're basically told, we're going to kick you off the ship because everyone on the ship's going to die of cholera. So the only way you can live is literally just we shipwreck you and you're out on your own. Also, we're going to give you like an Australian guy, and he does not like crying babies.
You can't shut up that baby. I'm
Yeah.
going to chuck you all overboard, he
I'll
says.
fucking kill you. I'll kill the kids. Yeah.
If
If you don't want
That's
to watch
right.
it, I'll fucking kill these babies. And it kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're like, dude, you got to expect a bit of crying on this little dinghy.
That's
like,
right.
why would you have
hasn't
gone?
been that long.
Yeah. How did he get nominated as the one person who
I
gets
know.
to live
yeah,
as well?
What's in it for? Yeah.
Like when they go, okay, who doesn't have cholera? And like a few of them would put their hand up, and then he'd be like, who's okay with looking after this lady and her 2 children? And he's like, me, love kids, couldn't get enough of it, love boats. And then like 2 days into it, he's like, I will strangle those kids in front of you. And then we should eat them as well.
Can we do?
That's
Can we
right.
talk about a really lame thought experiment that they do in teamwork and team building exercises at workplaces? Which is, you split the room up into 2 and make them decide amongst these 15 people on a ship.
Yeah.
We have to save 3 people. There are 2 children. There's a doctor. There's a guy who teaches kids. There's this. There's black. There's bling. There's blam. How do you handle that? Do you actually go around and pick the people who would be most useful in a survival situation, or do you just like pick names out of a hat? Like what?
I
What's
feel like if I'm on that boat and they've been told, like, by the way, we're all going to die, does anyone want to be the person to save or at least look after these people? I'm putting my hand up and I'm just saying, oh, yep, I'm really confident on the water. I'm really good with rearing children.
I
can
don't
teach
eat
them how to
people. I
read.
definitely
I
don't eat
definitely would
children.
never kill a child.
I don't
or
even
a
get
mum.
hungry.
Yeah.
I hate food.
See, if it's me on a ship with like 5 kids and then like
Yeah, by the way, in our heads, we can have different people that
yeah,
we're
yeah.
picking. You can be thinking of like a
I've
psychiatrist
got
and like,
John Travolta, I'm picking John, Every time. Fuck the kids.
I'm picking
man.
old John.
Who am I going to get shipwrecked with? I want to be John
It's
Travolta.
like, what do they say? It's women and children first off a sinking ship, right?
Yeah.
And then also me. I will also jump in as well to also, I like to live. And I think I should be the other one to live if there's enough room.
So the movie is Castaway, set in 1897, with a woman and 2 children at this point.
And the scroll at the beginning that really just... It doesn't tell you the plot of the Blue Lagoon, but it just tells you what you need to know, which is they got shipwrecked, a tragedy they fell in love on an island, tragedy befell them, and now they're both dead.
Oh, wait, that's right. That's why it's not a fat man, because they grew up and they had a kid from the first movie.
Yeah. The
right,
first
right,
movie,
right.
like the old man dies, then they come of age. A lot of the same points happen about these children developing, which makes both movies quite creepy.
Yeah,
I did feel quite uncomfortable.
I'll tell you what I found
with
really
the
interesting
movie.
about this, though. At the very beginning, I'm like, oh, they're on this boat. They've just picked up the surviving person. They're going to take this person, this little child who's only ever been brought up on an island, has never seen other humans besides their parents, and they're going to take them to land, and we're going to have like a cool fish out of water story. But then I'm like, oh wait, no, it's called Return to the Blue Lagoon, and then they just go into the ocean. They're kind of the man wants to kill the children. The woman harpoons the guy, beats him to death. She has her kids, and then the boat just lands back on the island that the child was originally
That's right.
from.
He's back where he was
To the
trying
point where it
escape
literally
from.
they find like the cabin that I can only assume is the main set from the first Tomato.
Oh yeah.
And the little kid's like, "Mom, are you up here?" And she's
Yeah.
climbing the stairs and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, she knows this house. This is her house. This little kid."
His house.
Here's
Oh
that.
yeah,
But-
yeah, it's the boy.
It's a
Yeah,
little
sorry.
Yeah, that wrecked me. The first 15 minutes of the film, just again and again and again, it's like, oh, that kid's parents are dead, and he wants to know where his parents are. And it was too sad for me. But other than that, the movie was completely shit.
Yeah.
But those parts hit me. So they wash up on shore. The new mother starts setting up like a civilization for them. And then they find that cabin, and they start living in that cabin and living together.
And then they start asking questions.
Oh, they ask a question or two.
They have a few questions.
Now, it was so slow. Like,
Yeah.
like
Oh no! You put it at 1.5 speed.
The entire movie.
Regular pace.
yeah. It was one of
It's
those.
a funny like story arc. It's not that
Yeah, but it's
conventional.
so. I really felt there was no real narrative drive. There was no like goal or like what do we want to do.
It was
it
like-
was just like we're gonna sit around and it's raining now and we're gonna put like a new roof on our cabin
Yeah.
and then there's some turtles and we're
There's
gonna play
one
with them. Let's
particular
go swimming.
part of the story, and actually part of the island that comes up once or twice, but never really gets resolved.
Yeah, I know.
The northern part of the island.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a part where and there's big time jumps as well. So we've got the kids when they're like 3 years old, and then we jump to the point where they're just under 10 probably, and
can
at this point they're
spearfish.
running around and they're going
can
into
cook
waterfalls,
food.
cooking, and then of course the mother does die, and we're left with 2 teenagers now, and they're like, I don't know, 17 or 15 or something.
Well,
it's really hard
I
to
mean-
tell. And these are our lead characters. Are you going to say they're like 13? Because
That
Well,
actress
okay.
was 15.
Was she?
Milla Jovovich.
She
Whoa.
was 15, and she was at one stage in 2006, according to Forbes, the highest paid supermodel in the world.
Nice. And so she was this was her first Tomato, and the guy, Brian Krause, we all recognize from Charmed.
And this is the second
Yes, we
Tomato
do.
to feature a
Charmed
Charmed alumni. Yeah.
Whoa.
He plays Leo, the white lighter.
The husband of one of our favorite Charmed lead characters, Piper, I believe.
Piper.
Yeah.
Actor name
You give him
unknown
yeah.
to this day.
I don't know what anyone's talking about
That
anymore.
explains why he's always walking around in this movie going, I am human, and I need to be loved.
All right, so now that we've actually got to the adult,
Yeah,
in
quote
quotation
adult.
marks, adult part of the
He's got
movie.
that very 90s teen heartthrob, like he could have been a Backstreet Boy look.
Yeah.
Like sandy blonde hair. And they act in the way that teenagers acted back then as well. There's parts where he's
Yeah.
like, I can do what I want
That-
to do.
so-
now mum's dead, I'm going to go to the north side of the island.
That's
You
right.
can't stop me from doing it.
And when because Georgina was watching, she came in halfway through, and then later in the movie, what happens is eventually like a ship turns up, like with
Yeah.
like a proper ship with some.
colonial.
Yeah, right. And she's like,
Cunts.
"Why is the ship so old?" and she was like convinced that it was set in the 90s because of the way that dude was acting. She was like, what's going on? Why are they dressed like that? I'm like, because it's like the 1800s. She's like, no, it's not. That's not how they...
Yeah, the English was very good, and I had a real... the whole time I kept tracking the dialogue that they would use and being like, is that time appropriate? Like, they're using words. The only time they used a term that I thought they would have learned on the island as well was when they told the rich girl that came on the boat that kind of had a crush on guy from Charmed. They were like, yes, you know what? She's like, what do you guys do around here? They're like, we swim, we cook, we mate every day. You know, we love mating.
Yeah, and
she's
they're
like,
all
what?
Australian. She's like, g'day, mate.
Yeah.
You guys g'day, mate, too, down here?
Yeah. It was weird that there was a lot of Australian, all the ship guys were Australian.
Yeah.
I think it was filmed in Australia as well. So that must have been why.
I mean, what's happened is they've become adults at this stage.
They start fucking.
They started fucking. Not a lot else
we
has
don't really
happened.
see them do it, though.
Okay.
We see them
And
hugging in water a lot.
I'm
We
still...
see them going down river rapids together and then kissing like a second later.
But sometimes it's those ones where they're like, she's like, you keep looking at me while I'm naked. And he's like, yeah, and you keep playing with your titties in the mirror. And then she's like, why do you keep doing that? And he's like, I don't know. And then they're like, but it's wrong, right?
Oh, then he gets a boner.
Yeah, but there's a part where they do the classic, like they tackle each other and he lands on top of her and their mouths are very close. And you're like, oh, they're going to kiss. And then they're like, get off me. What is going on? Why am I feeling
Yes,
these
it's very
feelings?
The Lion King, isn't
Yeah.
it? They grew up together and now they're becoming intertwined romantically. But what else has happened? I mean, he's run away and gone to the north side of the island at some stage as well, which their
we
mum
should
always
explain,
said, don't go up there.
But she saw these natives doing some sort of ritual every 3 months under the full moon.
Yeah.
And so they come and they dance and they light fires and stuff. And so she knows that there's people there that could kill them if they knew that they were here. So she's like, don't ever go to the north side of the island. And then when she dies of getting a cold or something later on, he's like, yeah, I'm going to the north side. Because he has a fight with Milla Jovovich.
Yeah. And he runs off and then he encounters them and they are doing some sort of tribal dance involving fire, and he covers himself in mud to hide. And
it's to he wants to do performative blackface because even back then
he won't
that
admit
was
it.
the funniest thing you could do.
He was trying to break
back
taboos.
then, it was just a sign of the times, really.
He would never
Cover
admit
yourself
that.
in black mud and do some sort of minstrel show.
I will say that this movie did feel pretty fucking racist. It felt it had a very lost
Well, it was
world
because
vibe.
the only word he used to refer to these island natives was heathen.
heathens.
Yeah,
That's
heathens
right.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Which seems like, where did he learn that word? Was that
Well, because she was their mum was like a
yeah,
heavy Christian or whatever.
Yeah,
Catholic.
yeah, they're seen praying a lot.
yeah, they're really into the God
They're
thing.
really into the God thing.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's going to watch this movie eventually, but this leads to nothing. Like, he encounters these people.
But it's a callback
It's a callback to something that's happened
in the Blue Lagoon.
in the Blue Lagoon. Okay.
Oh yeah, the skimming worked because I found the bit where he goes to the north side of the island. He never goes to it, and then he goes over there because at some point in the first Blue Lagoon, the girl gets sick, and then they go to the big idol to like a god, and then
big stone face.
he goes back there and he witnesses like a ceremony where someone's being held down by the neck, and they chop his head off and blood goes everywhere, and they're like, oh, we got to get out of this. That's why they leave the Blue Lagoon.
That sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
That sounds like the
Isn't.
potential. But I mean,
not.
it sounds like
the same
something
movie.
that was going to happen in this
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
that never happened.
Some danger, some action,
Well,
some
he does
tension.
He does have an encounter
With
with
one-
one of the native people.
Yeah, and he holds up a spear and then doesn't throw it, and then they smile at each other and they part ways. That's literally the end of that story. It
And then
never
he
comes
goes back to
Open
the girl,
shut.
and she's like, "I wish you never left me. Please don't ever leave me again." And he's like, "I won't." And he's like, "But I ran into some of those heathens."
And then they have
She's
sex
like, "What
in
happened
the water right
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, and he's like, "I could have killed one of them, or he could have killed me, but we didn't." And this will never come back.
And we don't need to worry
that
about
was
it
the close
anymore.
call, and
So
there's an hour to go.
it was a catalyst for making her worried enough to sleep with him.
Yeah. She had to. She
Because
was
of the
making a lot of
implication.
like. she was really kind of
She was turned on by the blackface.
yeah, pretty much. It was a sign of the times.
Anyway, so then a ship turns up, like we said before, and there are a bunch of crew on it, and
And
we
I
don't
really
trust
thought we
all
would
the
get
crew.
is it a Captain Cook situation where there's like these kind of English or Australian whatever ship people that are rich and you know like chartering areas.
Yeah.
And I thought that they would get into a massive fight with the natives and there'd be like a bloodbath. But again, there's
Would've been a
no
good movie.
connection,
So cool.
no contact.
Yeah, and they
I
would have
kinda
been. They
liked
could have
this
been the
part of the
link
film.
between like the natives
Yeah.
and the guys
Yeah.
coming to
and
the.
they could have sided with the natives or give me something.
I liked when the captain came off their little dinghy there, and the people rowing the boat had to lift him out. I don't know if that's a thing.
so
they used
he
to do,
wouldn't
just
get
so
wet.
His feet wouldn't touch the water, but he was a very tall, stringy man. It just looked very funny to have these short people lifting him out. But yeah, all these Aussies rock up, these Aussie explorers or traders or something, and
They're out there.
they're nice enough. There's a young woman. There's a man with a rifle who explains that the rifle can knock your bloody head off or something like that.
yeah.
Knock your head off your shoulders.
What kind of
Yeah.
spear is that? And then he explains what a rifle does.
Yeah, which comes back later because he ends up being, I guess, a rapist.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no guessing about it. he
Well,
tries
an
to
attempted
rape her.
rapist.
That's
Let's
right.
put it that way.
So they're like, whoa, we're in this new world where these guys have been living on an island. Show us the ways of your island, and they hang out in their house and they get cooked for, and it's like what a culture shock.
Yeah,
But at the same time,
remember when they first arrive and they first meet our two heroes, our charmed guy and
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil actress Milla Jovovich, highest paid supermodel in the early
Galaxy.
2000s or whatever. They say something like, "Watch out, they might not be civilized." And
That's
then
right.
Brian Krause just goes, "Civilized,
C-I-V.
Civil," and they're like, "Wow, they can spell. All right, cool." And of course, it's because their mother was so dignified that she taught them how to like use their knife and fork. And she's like, when you have dinner in San Francisco, you're going to want proper
That's
table
right.
etiquette and things. And then they're just throwing food at each other, the little
Yeah.
kids. So their mother really did a good job of like making sure that these guys on ships wouldn't just shoot them on sight because they're like, these ravaged native psychos, kill them and just take their
Yeah.
land. They're like,
So
they
she-
can spell.
she drilled it into the kids that they'd eventually be saved, right? And
Yeah.
they would go back to the big city.
But she didn't mention anything about not fucking each other.
Yeah.
She didn't
No,
impart that
she
rule to
prepared
them.
them to fucking.
I think she sort of
was-
thought, really, no one's coming to get them. They're going to need to procreate. Or at least get a bust a nut.
Spoilers, jumping ahead. They do have sex in this movie. They do have a baby at the very end.
I forgot
Right?
about that. Do they?
Yeah, and they decide to stay on.
That's right.
Like the
I thought it was just gonna do a loop that we're gonna go. We
Yeah.
gotta leave.
Yeah.
and then they die again, and then there's just a
they
baby.
just, they just keep on taking babies out of the ocean.
But so the mother does teach the daughter at some point about like what a period is and how you'll bleed once a month and stuff. And they're like, but it's a good thing when you get that, you're a woman. And then she gets her period when she's a teenager.
Which is a callback.
Oh.
It happens in the first.
It sounds like it's the exact same movie.
I read the synopsis for that movie, and it's exactly the same, except they are forced off the island at the end of the.
Yeah.
Well,
they just
because
changed, tweaked
they,
the ending.
They're freaked out by the natives. They're like, we gotta go. And okay, can I talk about the ending of the Blue Lagoon?
Sure.
Okay, so this is the movie we haven't seen, but this is what sets up the sequel we just watched.
They're out at sea. It's starting to get dire.
It's Brooke Shields?
Brooke Shields, some curly-haired fucko
And where's he from?
baby. Oh, the other actor.
Yeah, who's the man? No, like where's the man come from? Was he always on the island?
No, they were both. I'm pretty sure they're cousins.
Ew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ew.
First cousins by blood or marriage?
That's dangerous
Which
cousins.
explains Brian Krause's vibe in this movie. Little inbred kind of island
That's
weirdo.
not in there.
Well, okay, so they've got the baby, who is like a baby, and the ship has kind of been around the island. It's spotted them. It's going to come back for them, but they've just missed him. And it's getting dire, and they've got these berries, and they're like, they've made us sick before. Maybe so they eat the berries, and they all go to sleep, and then the boat finds them and brings them ashore. To the audience, it is canon that they lived.
Okay.
but the sequel kills them
Mm.
to set it up because they all eat the berries.
What berries? What are you talking
There's
about?
berries in the original
some
movie.
berries?
They make people sick. It's whatever. But
So they have no food. They only have these berries that they know make them sick. They eat it. In the original Tomato, you feel like that they still survive, but in this one, it starts with them both dead.
yes, correct.
And so,
But in the-
so that little boy has just left the island, gotten
Yeah.
on a ship, and
Yeah.
then gone back.
It's
Yes.
just forcing
Yeah,
back
pretty
onto
much,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying he was a newborn? Because he's definitely like a couple of years old in
He's
the beginning of
he's
this.
definitely a couple years old in this one. In the original, he's definitely like newly born. They haven't had a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I skimmed it.
So by the end of the second, the one that we're talking about here, Return to the Blue Lagoon, they actually have the option of leaving with the people that came on the ship, and they've kind of become friends. They've had a bit of a fight. One of them has tried to kill them. There's a whole thing where he jaws the Revengers,
Yeah.
sets this shark up, and the shark kills the guy. And we can talk about that in detail in a little bit. But basically, it ends with them, the ship people, being like, "We're leaving tomorrow at dawn," and then Milla Jovovich and Brian Krause are like, "I think we should stay.
Well,
and
yeah,
have the baby
she gives
here."
the reasons that she's having a baby and she doesn't want to join civilization because they're all dangerous, horrible people.
Yeah, she's like,
They
"There's
have
no
guns.
guns."
She specifically says there's no guns. That's coming from the American, and she's talking about Australians, and we all know that Australia is the best at guns
Yeah.
and having gun laws.
Well,
So I
yeah.
think it's quite ironic that they're pointing the finger at us,
Yeah,
saying that we are the naughty boys with guns, when really, have a
Yeah.
second think about that. 'cause
And I've
America
seen
is
her in
bad
these
on
Resident
guns.
Evil movies, and she shoots guns all the time.
The same character. She
Yeah.
does
You're
eventually
fucking
leave the
hypocrite.
island.
You know what? Fuck you, Milla Jovovich. Long-time TRT listener.
Yeah.
Uh,
Australians aren't bad with guns, and stop saying that we are.
Yeah. Oh wait, this was 1991 that they made
We
the
hadn't
film.
outlawed them yet.
So-
They
Tomatoes.
had it till
96.
post Port Arthur massacre.
Yeah.
Oh, we weren't very
Okay,
good.
we
with guns.
apologise, Milla.
Sorry,
we would
were
love
bad.
to have
we
you
were
on the
really
show to
bad.
cl-
We were the
clarify
worst.
this.
Sorry,
91
Milla.
was probably the worst year we were with guns. So bad at guns. But before that happened, I mean, that's it. That's the movie, right?
Well,
That's-
we can talk a tiny bit about. So the captain of the ship that turns up he's affluent and he has an affluent daughter, and I think someone touched on it before. Like the affluent daughter
Oh,
is like
yeah.
pretty attracted to the dude on the island.
Oh, she's eye fucking him the
yeah,
entire time.
and she's trying to like create a rift between him and his sister / baby mama.
Mm.
And so that's kind of interesting. She like teaches him how to do like English dances and stuff. but-
dance in Sydney.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And they're like, "We do Ring Around the Rosie," and she's like, "That's a dumb
That's a
dance.
child.
That's
You're
a child's
you're a
dance."
fucking dumbass. Damn.
That's
Yeah.
a dance for a little Joey.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing. And then, like you were saying before, the other interesting tidbit is it's set up in the three different acts. You've got Act 1. In Act 1, they're kids and they're playing out in the lagoon, and there's a shark, and they both manage to escape the shark.
Yeah.
And then Act 2, they're grown up,
Teenagers.
and
He's still
he, like,
messing with that
he's
shark.
fucking with the shark, like he's grown up with this shark, and he's like,
He's like, "You
Actually,
never get
yeah,
me, you
it-
stupid sea slug. You're not as fast as me." And he's like racing it and
yeah,
stuff.
it's like a
He's
fun,
calling it a stupid sea slug.
so it's like a game that he's played all his life and stuff, and he has fun with.
And then
he
by Act 3, Australian guy with gun tries to rape Milla Jovovich, and
Well, that's not
And
his
steal
first
the pearl,
priority.
'cause
and yeah, and
'cause
steal
at-
this pearl.
at one
that-
yeah, he
point,
really likes the pearl.
He got that pearl from the oyster
Yeah.
for her, and she puts it in her hair.
It was a scene where I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna rape the young native girl, but
He loves
but
that
then he's
pearl.
also like, get me that
What's that
pearl.
pearl?
that
yeah.
pearl
Yeah.
in your hair.
That's like, which one does he
Time
want
to
more?
grab me some Swede.
Yeah, this movie made me feel a bit sick.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
weird, huh?
Could be
It's-
the milk.
seasick.
It's you know what it is? It's just disgusting Australian guys with red beards.
Yeah.
Make me sick.
Gross.
So yeah, the shark scene, like he essentially sets the bad guy up, and he starts
Yeah.
swimming across the lagoon, and he knows that he can outswim the shark. Meanwhile, old Australian mate gets raped
Yeah.
by the shark.
There's a whole fight scene where he comes in, he sees that Brian Krause, the main guy, he sees his girlfriend, his lover, about to be raped by this guy. He kind of pulls him off, and then they're both fighting. The guy has a gun. The gun switches hands a couple of times. They pick it up. Every time the guy's about to shoot Brian Krause, Milla Jovovich either shoves him or throws like a blanket on his eyes, and then the gun, and then finally, the rest of the ship people come and they're like, "Hey, why are you trying to kill these people?" And he's just like choking Brian Krause. The Aussie guy's on top of him and he's really killing him. He's like choking him, and they're all like, "Can you stop that? There's no need to kill this guy." But he's like, and then one of them even goes to pull him off and he punches that guy, and then eventually Brian Krause runs into the water and the guy is shooting at him and just missing. He just keeps hitting the ground like with the bullets, like right near his feet, instead of just like, he's got a pretty clear shot, but he keeps just shooting into the ground. Brian Krause is running, eventually goes into the water, sees the shark, and then he's like, "Oh sweet, I know that there's this like little rock in the water that I can swim to, and I can get, and this guy will chase me all the way into the water," and that's what he does. And he gets onto the rock, and the guy's in the water, and then the shark kills him. You don't really see the bite. You don't really see the impact.
Yeah, it was no
Very
Jaws the
Jaws the
Revenge.
It
Yeah.
wasn't Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah, the bloody Australian drongos and their idiocy around sharks just goes to show that we can't be trusted in the water. But that's it.
That's the movie?
That's the
Yeah.
movie.
That's
No,
the movie.
well, I
That's
mean,
all that happens. That's all that happens.
what-
Let's
oh.
try again with our 4 sentences. I think we can get this.
What
think
about
Yeah,
what about when he
that's a good
what about when he figures out that it's Easter?
Yeah, they have a
So
whole
they
thing
have an
about
Easter egg.
knowing he's like, yeah, oh yeah. So when they're explaining that they're civilized, they're like, yeah, we do Easter, we do Thanksgiving, we do Christmas, we do them all. We're not sure if they're right, but we do count the moons and we know when the months are and stuff. So yeah, it's been this many years.
The pride on Mitch's face just then. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, I think you guys forgot about Easter."
Well, I'm like, how did they get the pearl, guys?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Why did I have the ball, Bart?
They literally do a Easter egg hunt where they take live eggs from local animals, birds and things on the island. They paint them up with, I don't know, charcoal or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they hide them around, and they're like, "It's Easter, we do our Easter egg hunt. Whoever finds the most, the other one has to give them a special prize." And I assumed it would be a sexual favor, but he's like, "I'm just going to swim into the coral reef and get an oyster, and that's where the pearl comes from."
Yeah.
So Mitch is right. That does happen in this. He didn't make that up.
In these
That's right.
really
Well done,
dull
Mitchell.
and uneventful movies, I'm always looking for things like subtext and symbolism and things like that because my brain is so understimulated. And a couple of the things was, as soon as they arrive on the island, they're just exploring, and the little girl, this is still when they're obviously babies, and she grabs a little egg from a nest and immediately drops it, and the mum's like, "Oh, no." And then you see an eagle flying, and you assume, like, that's the mother. So I thought that was symbolic of, like, that kid just killed that mum's kid, and maybe something will happen later that is reflective of that. And then later on, they're growing up a little, and they're chasing this little pig around, and then they're like, "Oh, that's the mother pig. Look out, there's the mother pig." I thought they were going to kill that baby pig and eat it, but they were just playing a game. And
Maybe
then-
the symbolism is that everyone has a mother.
Yeah.
that could be
Oh,
it.
yeah,
That could be all it is.
Mothers exist.
Yeah.
Mothers are real.
Yeah.
That's a message you can
That's
take home.
deep.
Yeah, it makes you think.
And then even later, and they're still the same age, like 9 or 10 years old, they're just swimming, and there's a turtle.
They really kill time by just being like, here's the kids playing with the turtle. Here's the kids
But
playing
not
with
in
the
a
crab.
nice way. Like when there's turtles on the beaches, like little baby turtles on the shore, they're poking it with a stick.
Yeah, that's right.
And then later on, there's a fully grown turtle, and the little boy is grabbing onto its legs. This is a real turtle that they were filming, and they're filming a little boy just grabbing onto the leg, and the turtle is trying to get the boy off. It's shaking around, and it's really distressing
I agree.
to watch.
It's
Yeah.
not cool to be cruel to animals, but I mean, I think it's a little bit worse that they gave all those people on the ship cholera.
Yeah, I
just
know.
To film the movie.
Just to make a piece of
There's
art.
also in this montage where I think it's pretty early on when they first landed and the mother's like trying to get to know the space that she's in on this island with her two young kids, and she's like, wow, there's trees and it's raining sometimes and there's animals, and there's this montage of like, yeah, kids playing with a turtle, kids playing with a crab, and then her just listening to a shell, and it's in this like crossfade, really beautiful, like the end of this silent montage. And you're like, wow, she's like rich and affluent, and she's from civilized society, but she's like, you can hear the air inside a shell, and it sounds like the ocean, I just found that really funny. It was almost like she was on the phone. She's holding this shell up
She's
to her
lost
ear.
her damn
She's like,
mind.
help, help, help.
Phones don't exist yet. She's gone crazy.
There's not a lot to this movie, huh?
That
Well,
is
hold
really
on.
simple.
Sorry,
really.
what about
Hold
Christmas?
the phone.
Don't forget the Halloween scene.
I would have loved that. I would have loved more things to happen in this movie because the things that were happening made me upset. I didn't like. Let's talk about the things that we were upset by in this movie. I'll start.
I've got one as well.
Well, mine's the turtle. I didn't like the turtle at all.
Well, there we go. I was uncomfortable with them talking about each other's genitals and each other naked, like her being curious about his boners and being like, "Does it hurt?" And I was like, it just felt like
I thought that was
someone's-
interesting.
And then he was like, I can
Porn.
make it go away. And she's like, how? And he's like, I'm not showing you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all
What
felt-
did he mean by jerking off?
Yeah.
Or did he mean just by
that's
like
what he meant.
squeezing real hard or something?
it
just
felt
chops it
real
off.
Yeah. Just slap it till it goes down.
uncomfortable for me. Maybe that says something about
No,
me.
I think it was uncomfortable, but I also think that because I think it's interesting because in that being, if that were a real situation that happened, and I sort of viewed a lot of that stuff as being an interesting thought experiment on what would happen if two people.
She would have seen him get boners all growing up anyway, because you get him as a child even before it's like.
This is
sexual
what I'm
thing.
saying because I'm like, okay.
And her response is very like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Don't look at it."
Like,
he
why are
wouldn't-
you hunched over?
Yeah, he wouldn't
are you
have that.
doing?
He wouldn't have that stigma, the social shame of
Yeah,
an
yeah.
embarrassing
Well,
erection.
maybe he would though. That's why I
Except
thought
he
it was
would
interesting.
because he's from like a teenage high school movie in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why is that built into
And this is
Yeah,
the thing that
maybe
I
he
was going to
wouldn't.
say that got me. His accent is full American teenager, and hers is like some weird European
Yeah.
hybrid, and they grew up
That's
on the
right.
same island together.
with the same mother.
Yeah, who didn't sound like either of them.
No.
She was English?
Yeah,
wasn't
she was English.
Yeah. So they just got their own accents.
I feel like if your body started doing something like that, and no, because the mother did explain it to them. Oh, maybe she didn't explain boners. I don't know. The point is, even if when
no
it
way.
starts happening and you don't have like a community around you to explain it to you, then maybe you still are ashamed and weirded out by it. Like, imagine if like tomorrow, Declan, your ears started like flapping forward, and you're like, "What? Why are they doing it?" And you'd cover your ears for like don't not let anyone see them because for some reason your ears suddenly started flapping really far forward.
Yeah, what's going on with your ears?
It's like,
I
don't
really
look at
prefer
him.
if you
It's
didn't
weird.
read my journal anymore. My medical journal.
But you would be weirded out because no one's prepared you for it.
Your
And it
ears
started
have been
happening.
getting
And
flat.
Yeah,
Happier as well.
but the other version of me could be like, dude, check this out. Look at my ears now.
True.
Look at these ears. Yesterday they were back. Now they're flapping. And I feel like if I was a teenager with a boner and I didn't know much about it, I'd be like, girl, you got to check this out. Remember yesterday when it was hanging loose? Boom.
Oh yeah, no, that's what that. See, the real movie, they should look disgusting because
I was thinking about that as well. I thought
they should look real fucked up. That teeth should be all fucked.
ugly, fat.
Yeah. They
I don't think they'd be fat.
no, they'd be malnourished. and,
Yeah.
like,
That's,
they would be
that
malnourished.
just makes
They're
it so
fighting
much
for their own
funnier.
food. But yeah, they should have bad teeth, Mitch. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a big issue.
And be real sunburnt and like their skin's peeling.
Yeah,
balding.
yeah.
And also just like
Dry.
their skin would be like an elephant's hide.
Yeah.
It would be so thick from just being sun damaged all the time, wind, water,
they'd
stones.
smell like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just look like
Oh, yeah.
dried out sponges.
They wouldn't be wiping their bottoms
No.
No, not at all.
unless they just use like leaves or turtle shells.
There's the other part of this movie that made me really upset. And I don't know why. I just felt so sad for her. It was when the girl from Australia came and taught them about makeup and civilization and how to
Oh,
wear
yeah.
clothes and stuff.
Oh, that did make
and
me
then,
feel sad.
And then she taught him like, I'll show you how we dance in Adelaide. And then they dance, and then the girl is getting jealous because of
Milla
that
Jovovich is
relationship
like, I
that's
can
developing.
See. I was wondering about this as well. Like, is jealousy a natural human trait where even if you've never met another human being, as soon as your one friend is talking to someone else, you're like,
I think it's probably.
imagine that.
I think it's probably.
I can tell they're falling
It's
in
probably
love.
exacerbated if it's just two people.
Yeah.
Their whole life, and then someone else comes like, "What?"
So
You've been
Brian
talking
Krause
to them?
is spending some time with the Australian
yeah,
person.
and then the next morning, the main lady,
Milla
Milla
Jovovich.
Jovovich,
The first lady.
Lily?
the first lady,
Is her name
Lily?
Lily
That's the
in
one.
this? thing? Yeah.
She's standing in front of the mirror, and she's trying to apply makeup in the same way that Australian girl does. And she's not doing a good job. She's like doing too much, and it's just makes me so
She's
sad.
trying to imitate what rouge looks like on the cheeks,
like, well,
but she's using
and then she turns around and she's like, what do you think? And he's like, what? Take that off. And she's like, but you like it on her.
Yeah.
Made
That
me
was
so sad.
and she did look really stupid. So I'm like, I
And
get
she's
his
so
point
beautiful.
of
She
view, but I
doesn't-
also feel bad for her. Yeah, that I did feel a little human emotion at that point.
Maybe if she tried some blackface, he could have had a laugh,
he's
but-
like, if you're gonna put it on, you're gonna smother the whole. You want the lips to be super red, the eyes to be white.
Fuck. Jesus.
So, Mitch, you
It
were
was a
saying
time.
before, do you know how many of these movies there are? And I know that there's one before this. Are there any after this?
There is.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
There is. It's
Return
called
to the
Blue Lagoon Awakening.
Oh no.
It stars Denise Richards as the mother of the girl. Actually,
hold on.
I began watching it,
Oh god.
and then Declan picked me up. It is set in the modern age. It is a field trip gone wrong, and it is definitely one that I want to review for the
Lord
podcast.
of the Flies.
Is there
I
one
definitely
of these,
wanna-
Is there one of these scenes where you think that they'd come across a cave and they'd find like two skeletons holding hands and they'd be like, someone else used to live here?
I fucking hope so. I hope that it is the exact same Blue Lagoon, but in 2006. This movie,
Is it the same island?
okay. I don't know. I got about 5 minutes. They were still in normal society. It feels completely different. It is on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
So stay tuned for
They
that
were using
tomato.
laptops and stuff.
Yeah. It opens up. Everyone's on laptops. The music is so loud that you can't hear
Just
the
like
dialogue.
in 2006.
Yeah.
Everyone was on a laptop.
Everyone's
in
on a
2006.
laptop. They're playing like some pop punk.
Hell yeah.
And you can't hear any of the dialogue. It was amazing, and I'm excited to watch it.
I can't wait to hear that mix, that audio mix on that movie. This
Yeah.
the movie we just watched was filmed in Australia.
Yeah.
And Fiji.
And Fiji.
Yeah.
And Fiji.
And I guess that's why they got some Aussie actors, and they said, "Oh, what accents are we doing? Where is this set?" And they just said, "Whatever, do whatever you want."
It's Australia.
Krause is doing American, Milla's doing Eastern European, the mother was English. You guys are whatever you want.
This movie was racist. No people who weren't white got to speak. I'm just saying it.
No people who weren't white got to speak.
I'm
yeah,
putting it out there.
That's a double.
Putting it out
negative.
there. I saw many black people. None of them spoke.
during one scene.
How sure
There
were
were-
you that they were people of color and not just white people in blackface? Because it was in the dark.
Given it was the time, well, no, because the crew from the ship, like majority black people.
Yeah, they did have some.
But I mean, like it was set in a time where there were slaves, right?
Yeah,
And
100%.
I mean, I guess it was racist in that there were slaves, and that's
Yeah,
not the
and
good thing.
they were definitely slaves.
Do you remember that the way that they showed Brian Krause's character, how he first kind of showed that he was sexually interested in the Australian girl?
Yeah, didn't he peek through a little crack in the wall while she was examining her own breasts?
No,
No,
that's
he
his
did
that's-
that. He did that. To
Oh,
his-
sorry,
He
I
did
did,
that to
yeah.
Lily. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
did
yeah.
it,
which was creepy.
He was talking to Lily at one point, and she's like, "Do you like this girl?" And he just goes like, "I just kind of want to see what she looks like without clothes on. I just want to see what that body looks like."
Again, I think that these are, you know,
That's why she gets jealous.
These are very potent ideas being...
Yeah. I don't know what this feeling is, but I'm looking at this person and I'm just wondering what's under those clothes.
they've always been open with each other,
Yeah.
and he's just telling her the truth.
So how old was...
Maybe you could take a leaf out of his book and tell more truths yourself, Declan.
Yeah.
Show
You've
me
never
your
told me
tits,
that you want to
Hayden.
see. But also they bring back the whole don't go to the northern part of the island thing there as well.
Yeah.
She's like, well, that you just want to see things that you haven't seen before. Remember when you went to the northern part of the island and how did that turn out? And he's like, fine.
Yeah. He was like,
No, I went there. I came back.
Nothing happened at all. I almost killed somebody.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
was in control of that
He
situation.
keeps putting it in his way. He's like, I had the chance to kill this guy, but I let him go.
It was sick. So, how old are these people?
The actors or the characters?
The characters.
Oh, okay.
Because
I reckon they're soon.
They said to the people in the boat, "Our mother died 6 years ago."
Our mother died 6 years ago.
6
Yeah, I
years.
reckon
How, were the kids little kids when she dies, or were they?
They were
He
like
wasn't-
10 or
He
something.
was
They
not
were-
like
I
a
reckon.
12-year-old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like just pre-pubescent.
These
Shit.
are both
Yeah.
teenagers.
That's rough.
So they're probably like 16.
Which makes the nudity just feel that little bit extra
And I guess that
wrong.
makes sense
Yeah.
because she only gets her period around that time.
Yeah.
So she may even be younger.
She might be 14 and he's 16.
I
or
mean,
something.
but that's the thing. Like, she's surprised by a period. I'm like, I am not a young woman. I'm not an old woman. I'm not a woman. But I do know that...
You're making some bold claims here, Mitch.
Hey, well, you haven't seen under my clothes, so I just wanted to make some statements.
If you listen to one episode of this podcast, make it this one. Because
we're blowing this whole
Yeah.
case
God
over.
damn.
Everything
You
you
get
thought
answers
you
in
knew
this one.
is flipped on his
Yeah.
head.
Wait,
I'm just saying...
you're not a woman?
Hey, we can talk about this after
I'm not a
the pod.
girl.
All right. I know that I'm going to have to recontextualize some situations we've been in. And that's for a separate pod. So in this tomato, what was I talking about?
You started by
boldly
qualifying
claiming-
saying you're not a woman.
Periods.
boldly
I
claiming
was
that you
talking
weren't a
about
woman.
periods. She was quite surprised by her period. Now, I imagine that they can come as late as 14 years of age.
Hey, it's not a race.
Hey.
Look, I'm not a woman,
you're-
but it's not a race.
Well, I am a woman.
And it is a race.
Technical trouble. Biological female.
I don't need a man to tell me what's a race and what's not a race for my body.
Yeah.
Just in terms of reactions and the shame that they felt in certain scenes of blood and boner.
You think she's like 11 years old in this, don't you?
I
where you're going.
I don't feel good about how old she is and how sexualized the whole thing is.
Can I say, I watched this film on the Google Play Store. I paid $4 for this
Really?
piece of shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And now you're on some kind of watch list.
Yeah, exactly. Because
yeah,
it said like this is
100%.
child pornography. No, but it actually started with it had the American opening warnings and stuff. So it said this movie is PG-13, and then it had like an FBI piracy warning. So I'm like, those are burned into the actual file when normally you would put the Australian ones in front of it or something. So yeah, it's PG-13, but there was quite a lot of I'm assuming underage female breast in this
What a
film.
side boob.
Yeah.
So how old was she in real life?
16.
Oh, crazy. That's weird.
And he was 22.
That's really weird.
Ugh.
I guess watching it, I just assumed for some reason I didn't really think. I mean, I'm not thinking much about anything when I watch these movies, but I didn't think much about. I was just like, oh yeah, they're 20. It's just how I
And then
watched
she gets
it.
her period, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, is that what?
I don't know. I didn't think about.
Was there another tomato with underage nudity? I don't feel like there was. Maybe Staying Alive?
Child?
Yeah, when they show problem child's dick.
Mac and me had naked
No,
aliens.
there wasn't any
including
nudity.
child
There was a part where the problem child walked into his own bedroom and said, "This room is retarded." That's kind of close.
Pretty close.
It's a slow pan.
Oh, we gotta watch that movie again.
I really do want to watch Problem Child too. It's been on my list.
I loved that thing.
Why don't we go around and talk about? I'm sure there's more to uncover here. I mean, Mitch has only just revealed that he's not
Hey,
a
we
woman.
both got bird socks.
Bird socks.
You both have bird socks?
Hayden's
I got some
wearing
toucans as
black.
well. I got cockatoos on today.
I got happy flowers on.
Oh yeah.
And
All right, if we're at the
he's
point
wearing
where
his-
we're just comparing socks, I'm going to play a song called A World of Our Own by Surface, which was the final song in this, end credits.
Oh yeah. It's already familiar.
And this shit's actually, yeah.
Let me jam out to this.
I remember getting really disappointed when it actually hits though. No, pass.
Yeah.
Great intro. Oh no.
Fuck.
All right, that's enough.
Very
Um,
good.
I also there was a point where I looked at the time of this, and I was like, this must be coming up to its end because it's not too long. It was like 95 or 100 minutes.
I
or
watched it
something.
on Daily Motion and it was split in two, 50 minutes each. Hour and 40 minutes.
It wasn't an hour and 40.
Yeah,
Each
thing,
hour and
each
40 minutes.
thing
Yeah.
was
Do
50
you know what?
minutes.
It's funny. I did the exact same thing when I watched the movie. I was like, an hour and 40 minutes? That's so long. At least it's not. Hang on, wait a minute. No, that's That's only 100 minutes. Okay, cool.
That's
all
like
good.
normal
Yeah, that's
movie
fine.
length.
Yeah, it's like
And so there was maybe 10 minutes left, and I'm like, how long is this? Because I just don't feel like
Nothing's
it's
happened.
leading towards
No.
an ending or anything. And I was watching it with Alex, and I just said, like, there's like 8 minutes left in this thing, and I have no idea where it's going. There was never any build to any sort of drama.
No.
Like this, I guess that's the point where she finally
It was
gets
like a
attacked.
road movie, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
One
episodic,
event.
like scene after scene, and they build. I guess they build on each other, but there's never any like. Also, they're going to have to deal with something at the
But
end.
you
of
know
this.
what happens in the movie Castaway, and why is that? I mean, I love that movie. Why?
That's a
Why do
fucking
I
good
love that
movie.
movie? I don't know.
Because it's 3 hours long.
I remember not liking that. I've only seen it once, but I remember being like, well, this blows.
yeah, I
it's-
probably felt the same way as a 9-year-old watching.
I
it
had
with
the
Dad
opposite.
in
I had one of those
cinemas.
times where it was on TV, and I probably started at like 20 minutes late,
Yeah.
and I watched it all night because it was super long and it had ads, and I ended up watching the whole thing.
And you
there's
loved it.
In Castaway, there's like a last third where he actually gets off the island
Yeah.
finally, and he like goes back to his wife, and she's like, "I'm remarried."
Yeah, I
and
remember
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember when he gets his period?
yeah.
Yeah, and he should be older. He should
Actually,
already
can
have
you
that.
play the song from Castaway?
I'm a castaway, and I got my period today.
Funnily, that's where he met
His wife,
his
Rita
current
Wilson.
wife, Rita
So
Wilson.
didn't they have to
Yeah.
update the title of Castaway to just be called
Through the Haunted
Quarantine?
Island.
We did that, but it was in a separate podcast.
Oh, was that on
Don't-
another podcast?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right, I'm happy to not talk about the tomato
Well,
anymore.
let's give out. Is it truly rotten? Are we going to be giving our scores in
we're
one
giving
sentence
scores.
each?
I'll go first. Truly rotten from me. I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
I keep forgetting what classifies truly rotten. Below a
Anything under a 6 or a 5.9, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was under 5. Okay.
sure. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.5. It's truly rotten.
5.5. You are so generous.
That was generous. Wow.
I didn't hate
3.
I didn't hate it.
I can't remember. I've got to start writing down all my scores because it's all like
If
it's-
only we recorded them.
Yeah, I know.
They just lost.
That's why I got that whiteboard.
Yeah.
Or we can get the
all right,
stats
fine,
up.
fine.
We can get this.
4.9.
Okay.
All
Who's
right.
next? Who's next?
I'm
Morgan.
going to give it a flat 1. The reason is any movie that starts on the ocean cannot grip you, and if it
Pirates of the
Pirates
Caribbean.
of the Caribbean.
That probably starts on land, I reckon. The opening scene.
All right,
No,
no,
that starts.
can-
That starts at sea.
I should qualify if it's just like stranded on the ocean.
What about like Master and Commander or something?
Oh,
Any
that
sort of
sucked.
ship movie.
That sucked.
The Little Mermaid.
Okay, look, this particular movie started on the ocean and nothing happened for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was very slow and it never picked up the pace.
Waterworld?
Waterworld is the exact thing I'm thinking of. That's the exact thing that's just like... Although, I went and saw the Waterworld performance at the Japan Universal
Yeah,
Studios.
that's pretty good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I've seen that one.
So I give that a 9 out of 10. This I
What do
give
you
a
think
1.
about a tomato that just starts with a Star Wars-esque opening crawl and just
Oh,
quickly
yeah.
says, "This is what happened in the last movie"? Like it was literally 2 sentences. It was not a long crawl. I always thought the Star Wars ones went for ages when I was a kid because it's so slow. But now I see them and I'm like, they're like 3 small paragraphs.
No, okay.
But this one was literally like 2 sentences.
What,
I mean,
what's
I've-
Star Wars? What's that?
Space Worms.
Yeah, Space Worms.
I just didn't understand what was being written on the screen. I don't know what it was, but the way that it was worded, it's 1897, and it's 15 years before that. I didn't know they were talking about the prequel to this movie. And then the description of what happened in the previous movie was so similar. But it was also so similar to what we then saw throughout the
that's right.
movie. I kept going back in my mind to what I'd seen written at the beginning of this movie, thinking like, did they just explain what I'm about to see?
It's because they say there was a shipwreck and there were people on it, and then it just says like tragedy befell them, and then a ship picks them up, and then it shows that happening.
Yeah,
so you're like,
yeah.
okay, that's
That's
we're up
what
to.
was so confusing. I thought,
The year is the only part that gives you any context that you actually need. The fact that the 2 parents are already dead the second we see them, we assume tragedy befell them, or maybe we'd assume the kid killed them.
Damn.
Like, they had a
There's
problem child.
kid is on the boat. Like,
speaking of Pirates,
this
of the
boat is
Caribbean,
retarded.
The Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is the most expensive film ever made. Do you know that?
Is that
Is
the
that
5th
true?
one or the 4th
I think it's the
one?
4th or 5th one. That
is the most
true.
expensive film ever made.
Yeah.
More expensive than like
Avatar. 2.
Avatar?
Maybe that's
Is it-
not counted yet.
Is it because it didn't make its money back, or is it because
Nah, it just would have cost them
just
tons
would've cost-
because they had to get Johnny Depp back.
my
So my rating's 1. What do you give this
Yeah,
movie, Mitch?
Your turn to rate.
hearing all the ratings, I was gonna give it a 1. I am
You
going
can't.
to give
No,
it
you can't. I gave
Morgan's
it a 1.
got that.
That's
booked.
my number.
Yeah. So what did
Okay,
you give it? You gave
2.5.
2.5.
And I'm just going to say because it was shot fairly well, at a reasonably good budget. The sets were cool. They may have been
The
reused
reused
from the
set of the cabin from the
yeah.
first one.
The island was nice to look at.
No, you're right. And there are movies where like the music sucks and like everything just takes you out of the moment. There were all those elements were fine.
And I think, the colonial, some of it, I was all right. But it was creepy. It was weird. It was problematic, guys.
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
not going
weird
to
movie.
fly.
And it was the 90s.
It was the 90s. It was a different time. You could
It was
just
the
do
1890s.
blackface and
Have 14-year-olds
make
get
child
it on.
porn, and again, it felt like
Yeah, look,
what if we had these nubile teens and
Yeah.
supple
Nubile
bodies?
Teens is what they should have called it.
Nubile teens was the working title.
Don't you think it's
but
weird
then
that
they had to make money off
if
the
it's a
Lagoon
whole tomato about like
market.
teenagers falling in love and finding their sexual awakening, as I guess this next sequel's called, shouldn't we see them have sex and have that first like, what is this? This
Apparently
feels
the-
good. I don't know how this is happening, or is there a part where the director's like, remember they are 14, so we can't do that.
I think the first one had a bit more of that. That's what I understand.
I think it's an interesting concept, is all. Like that's probably why the book that the first movie was based on was sort of, I presume, well received. I didn't even know it was a book until this.
You know what?
Today.
It felt
But
like
Garden of the Gods or something.
It's
like
just
that.
an interesting
this one
kind
is
of
based off
concept,
Garden
right?
of the Gods, and the first one is based off a book called The Blue Lagoon.
Yeah. So this feels like one of those books that like
Is
older
a
women
movie?
read and masturbate to.
Oh.
Like that's what.
No,
why
I would
like it.
say gross men who.
It's really
like,
hard to masturbate
teenagers.
and turn the page.
This is
The-
book.
That's why they made the movie. That's
Right.
That's for the gross men. I'm trying to put this on women. All right.
this-
I'm not a woman.
Because you're not one. Yeah. There's this really gross. There's this really.
I just feel like I need to make it known that women can be just sick, perverted fucks.
Wow. I feel like if you were a woman, I could accept this, but you're not. So don't talk about what you don't know.
I shouldn't have let you know that.
It's called
because
lived experience.
While we're
Mitch.
on that point as well, don't tell women what is and isn't a race in their own
we already
body.
covered this.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
We spoke about that before.
We- we-
Okay.
Okay.
We're good. We're talking about some other movies that we wanted to watch that aren't on the list.
Yeah, we got to break up
Yeah.
this list. This list is really,
Yeah.
really getting.
So,
'cause
like
our-
Wild Hogs, we're thinking of, even though that experiment failed, we're thinking of trying some new things.
I'm posting stuff in that chat like every day. I want to watch all the Paul Hogan movies. There's one called.
the new one, the Wonderful
yeah,
Life
there's-
of Mr.
that
Dundee.
looks-
or
Yeah,
something.
looks
you
real
saw
good.
You saw that trailer?
Yeah.
Oh man,
That looks horrendous.
look awful. Shane Jacobson is doing a terrible American accent in it.
Yeah.
Who's Shane Jacobson?
He
Kenny.
was
played
the
Kenny?
Toilet Man.
Kenny the Toilet Man.
Still haven't seen that.
no.
Is that worth a watch?
Kenny's
Kenny,
pretty good. Yeah.
no,
I like Kenny.
it was a good movie. It just
Don't watch it though.
is
Oh,
it
you've
worth
got-
watching? Not
So
really.
yeah, we're thinking of like changing the formula up. We are going to obviously get through every tomato on the list of the most truly rotten tomatoes, 0%ers. But every now and then we might throw in like a 15%er that we've just heard of.
Yeah,
or-
like the Slim Dusty movie.
But
Tell
so,
us about that
Yeah.
again. What's the go with the
I'm
Slim
keen.
Dusty
Oh, the
movie?
Slim Dusty movie is similar to who's the guy who's the big radio man with the frizzy hair and the glasses in America?
Oh, Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
Private
Howard Stern.
Parts.
Yeah, it's like Private Parts, but which is the biopic about his life, which is interesting because he was only really becoming a very well-known broadcaster when that movie came out, I guess, or like becoming a household name at that stage, and then continued to expand. And I guess the Slim Dusty movie is similar because that came out in '84 when Slim Dusty was huge,
Yeah.
but would just continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's interesting that biopics are made at that stage in somebody's career when their career is long from over.
Now, the thing about Slim Dusty is he's one of Australia's most prolific country musicians, and I believe he's had 100 albums.
Oh yeah, 107. 107
Yeah.
albums.
That's too
Can you
much.
name a Slim Dusty song for me?
The Pub with No Beer.
That's the first
Uh,
one.
Oh,
I'd
I'd like to have a beer with
Duncan.
Hayden.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
He did a Waltzing Matilda version that was pretty famous.
I didn't know that, but that's...
He's definitely probably got 5 or 6 songs that I'd say most Australians would be pretty familiar
Get
with.
those roos off my porch. Put the platypus back in the billabong. Get the jumbuck underneath.
Smoking weed with Johnny on the balcony farm. John Howard, that one's about.
Love a slice of damper.
Pub with
In parentheses, kangaroos rock.
too much beer in
He
this
should
damn
have
pub.
a song called The Kangaroo Rock.
This pub's got too much damn beer.
Actually, you know the pub with no beer has like 2 sequel songs. One of them explains like how the truck carrying the beer like broke down and stuff.
Too much detail.
Hey,
Yeah, he
is
like
this
expanded
something-
the mythology. That was his Star Wars.
Is this something that I invented in my brain? But have we been to the pub with no beer that
yeah,
song's based
Dad's
on?
taken us there. Yeah.
Yeah, Dorigo or something.
And that's all they have on the walls is just pictures of Slim Dusty and just like, yeah, this
Slim,
is the pub with no
Slim.
beer.
Yeah. Do you reckon he would
And
just
then
go
people
around
would-
and tour and do like rural country Australian pubs and play to just like 20 locals? And he just did that for so long that everybody in Australia
Yeah,
knew him.
Slim.
Yeah.
Slim Dusty.
Slim Dusty. And then the other one I want to watch is Lightning Jack, which is a movie that Paul Hogan made in 1994 with Cuba Gooding Jr.
this sounds good.
So Paul Hogan plays Lightning Jack Kane, a long-sighted Australian outlaw in the American West with his horse, Mate. After the rest of his gang is killed in a robbery gone wrong, Jack survives only to read of the events in the newspaper that he was nothing next to the others. Annoyed at not being recognised as an outlaw, Jack attempts a robbery by himself and ends up making young mute Ben Doyle, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., as a hostage. So, you know, it's he's wearing the same hat as he was wearing in the Crocodile Dundee movies.
Good,
Nice.
good.
So you know it's going to be good.
So the very excellent Mr. Dundee, it's like billed as Paul Hogan, Chevy Chase, John Cleese, but from watching the preview for the movie, it looks so much like it's just a shitty, bad Australian movie that has us
Small
seen
cameos.
with, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
It's,
build the movie like that.
Yeah.
It's Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's real Rob.
Yeah, he's playing
It's-
himself as he is now.
Yeah.
And like those are his friends, like Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
and
so he
stuff.
just called in a couple of favors.
Do you remember the Super Bowl ad that was a Crocodile Dundee
Yeah.
3?
Fake
No.
It was a
tourism
fake tourism thing.
at the
It was-
Hemsworth.
and it
Cinema.
was Danny McBride as Crocodile Dundee's son.
Yeah.
Right.
Margot Robbie was in it.
Oh, okay.
Chris Hemsworth was there. It looked like a good movie.
But it was just an Australian tourism ad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So we
fucked
may
up.
or may not watch some of these horrible other
Yeah.
movies that aren't on the list, but technically the next movie, or Tomato as they call them in the biz, is meant to be from 1992, and it's called Folks! Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Oh
What
yeah,
is
No
this?
idea.
Don't
No
know anything
idea.
about
I've already
it.
got it.
I'm
I'll
going to give you
probably
this
watch
much
it tonight.
information. It's a comedy drama American film starring Tom Selleck. That's all I'm going to
Okay.
say.
Yeah, I don't know,
I don't know
much
anything
about
about it.
I'm in.
That might be the next episode of the show. It might not be.
And if you have any requests, please
Yeah.
email Declan.
Truly Rotten Tomatoes at gmail.com. We have an email address.
We
We'll
do?
probably read them. Yeah.
Whoa.
We don't have that many fans, so if you say something, I'll have to read it at this point.
The salsa jar is pretty empty at this point.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to explore is Mormon cinema.
Yeah,
don't know
alright.
much about it other than it exists.
So that's it. I'm done.
Good work.
Sorry,
guys.
I was
look
just-
forward to folks.
I look disinterested, but I'm just looking for other examples of movies that we were going to maybe review. But
Yeah, I really wanted to watch Wild Hogs. I guess I can just watch it of my own volition now.
Hey, we can watch the last 2/3 of it.
Yeah, we've still got 2/3 of it.
We still got,
I think that's
It's not over.
a bonus episode thing we put out every now and then. We watch another third of Wild Hogs Live.
we got to do it late.
Yeah.
this is
That's
the
what I mean.
the one I'm excited for is called Trading Paint. It's a 2019 American sport action film directed by Kaz and Cato with a script co-written by Craig Welch and Gary. It stars John Travolta, and it is
Oh.
rated 0%.
It is?
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it's 2019. It's John Travolta again, and he's already in
He's on
2005 Gotti.
Yeah,
He's
man.
in Wild Hogs. He's in the first
Gotti was only
movie.
a couple years ago, wasn't it?
2008.
Gotti was-
Yeah,
2008.
I thought it was
2018.
yes,
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
Well, it's not what you said, Morgan.
Yeah.
I said 2005. Then I corrected myself and said 2008.
Get your facts straight, man.
corrected
All right.
again.
Yeah. I just
Okay,
wanted to see
Jesus.
if you guys knew your John Travolta trivia.
John Travolta's coming around the corner.
John Travolta.
John
He is
Travolta,
absolutely
he's
revolting.
going.
John Travolta.
Also, yeah, all right. Yeah, yeah, all right.
Would you like to do the honors of ending the episode, Mitch?
Oh,
The last
geez.
word goes to you.
Shout out to
the
my
salsa.
salsa. Shout out to the salsa.
How about we all have a nickname for our fans? Because you don't listen to the show for everyone. You listen for your favorite presenter.
That's true.
So if you're a Declan fan, you're a tomatard.
And if you like the dulcet tones of Hayden, you're a Hadeologist.
Hey, my name's gonna be Morgan, and if you want to hear more of what I've got to say, then baby, you might just be a bottle of my nice listener fans.
And if you're a Mitch, if you know me,
A Mitch Tragic.
hey, you want a bit of that Mitch magic, Matt? Shout out to the salsa.
Yay.
Hey,
You
where
already
my
went.
salsa at?
You already said that.
Hey,
Why did we
came
go back
to me.
around?
Yeah, let's go again. Let's go again.
All
That
right,
was fun.
all right.
Let's go faster.
Okay. All right. If you're hot to trot for Declan, you're hot rot.
It's your boy Hayden and you Haydenologist.
You said that.
I'm not,
Just go
not fast
Scientologist.
enough to go
And if
for
you
a
like
second
me,
one.
it's me, Morgan. Chop up a couple tomatoes, chuck on truly rotten tomatoes, and you're listening to me, Morgan, Rotten Tomato Man.
And we're
What are your fans called?
You
though?
like me? You got to listen to me. My name is Morgan. I'm on the podcast. Truly Rotten Tomatoes is my name.
If you're someone
This
who
is-
mutes it every time me, Mitch, or Morgan talk, you're a hadeologist.
Hadeologist.
you're cooking with Mitch in the kitchen.
I didn't say you had to have a catchphrase.
Yes, you did. It was implied.
we should choose different kinds of tomatoes. So you like the salsa.
I like chopping up some tomatoes in the kitchen.
Now I feel like every episode has to have 4 different sign-offs. Like imagine if news anchors like all took their own turn, and they're like, and if you just watch for the
go back to
sports,
me.
you're a sports.
Yeah,
fan.
yours was better than mine. I want to try mine again.
Yeah, I want to steal yours as
Shout
well.
out to the Blue Lagooners, my boomers, my zoomers, my doomers. My doona needs a change because I've got salsa all over my sheets.